Hello, Peter. Nice to meet you again.
Hi, Amin. Nice to meet you.
A long time. I missed you already.
Oh, yes, 1 week.
1 week exactly. How have you been this week? Did you shoot some arrows?
Just a few, just a
Mm.
few. I tried to get ready with my book and
Okay.
had some other stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so it was a silent week.
Mm-hmm. How many
And
hours do
you?
you? Almost every day a few arrows. I live very
Yeah.
close to the range, and I do my videos. I have, I don't know, 3, 4 reviews this week, bow reviews and stuff. So I was quite busy. Yeah, it's fine.
I just shoot 3 arrows. When I
Mm-hmm.
hit the center, I say, okay, you're still the greatest. And then I put the arrow in the corner,
Okay, I
the bow
understand.
in the corner,
Mm-hmm. Happened to
just
me
for,
sometimes when I went to the range and the range was full and they said shoot one arrow, and then I shoot one arrow 30-meter dead center, and then I put the bow away and don't shoot one more because I showed I can do it. No, don't make any
you
mistakes.
only, you only can make it worse. If you
Exactly.
hit with the first arrow, stop
Exactly.
shooting.
And you simply turn around, silent, hang the bow, and leave. And they were like, "Ooh, yeah,
Oh, I'm okay.
of course."
So, what I want to say
Yep.
is, I have to apologize to this YouTube guy, which name I didn't know. It is New Sensei.
Okay.
This
Mm-hmm.
Asian guy we talked about,
Yep.
and I read it in the comments that they told me what's his name. And so
Mm-hmm. No
I
sense.
want to apologize. It's New Sensei, and
It's his YouTube
he
channel.
runs
Yeah.
a great channel. Yes.
Yeah, he first did a lot about Olympic archery, where I think
Yeah.
his speciality, or where his field is. Started then with thumb release and all this stuff. Yeah, and we got a lot of comments on the last video. It was quite, people
I
liked it
saw.
and had a lot of suggestions, and so we need to work through it, always bit by bit.
They, they,
we
they, they like old white men chatting around.
Yeah, exactly, and we created a lot of work for ourselves. Thank you for your
Yeah. But
great
it's
idea.
fun.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
What I wanted to know, because we are both archery instructors, and everybody has a different approach of how to teach. What is your, or the other way around? What would you say if somebody has no idea of archery and wants to start? What is important?
To start with, favorable, not too expensive equipment,
Mm-hmm.
with a very light bow
Mm-hmm.
with cheap arrows, but uniform arrows.
Mm-hmm.
With a
Yeah,
set of arrows, so
all the same. Yeah.
not with found arrows somewhere, but
Like I
they
started.
should,
Yeah.
yes, they should all be the same.
Yeah.
And and of course, to have a good instructor, because if you get into some bad habits or routines, it's
Mm.
hard to 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 iron this out when
Yeah,
you
that's true.
get it into
Yeah. Mm.
your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then I would recommend take a buy a backstop.
Mm-hmm.
This I use this 1 by 1 meter or 80 by 80 centimeters foam backstops. They are
Mm-hmm.
not so expensive,
Yeah.
and because that's important too. If the person ruins his arrows frequently, and
Mm.
so
Then
he loses the fun
they
with
get
shooting and so.
frustrated and they stop shooting. Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I always say you don't need more than 3 arrows. In
Mm.
fact, you don't need a glove or a tab or a brace in most cases if you do
Mm.
it the style I teach.
Ah.
And then I say, stand in front of this backstop, put these cardboard plates you
Mm-hmm.
get at the kiosk or
Yeah.
how you call it, and shoot these 3 arrows into
Exactly.
this arrow plate.
Mm-hmm.
And as long you need, it's your
Mm.
thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as you can hit it from 3 meters every time,
Mm.
go 2 steps
Mm-hmm.
back, try
Yeah.
it again,
Yeah. Yeah.
and do this up to 10 meters. And
Mm-hmm.
never shoot more than 3 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
because my idea is if you shoot, and also Byron Ferguson said it to me, he only can concentrate on 3 arrows.
Exactly.
And if you shoot 10 or 12 or 20 arrows, you don't remember the problem with the 4th arrow.
Yeah, and you start getting sloppy. I did a video about
Yes.
because here at Malta Archery only 3 arrows, and then some people come with a full quiver and said, no, simply take them away. Only 3 arrows at the range. Yeah, that's boring. At the other range, we can shoot whatever 100 arrows in a target. At first of all, when you have a shooting line like we have with 18 people, and everybody shoots 3 arrows, and one comes with a quiver full and shoots his 30 arrows, and the others then all wait and whatever and it's not working. But of course, the mental aspect. When you have a lot of arrows, then you shoot.
That's the point.
Because you think, I have another one. You should only shoot
one arrow.
Right. I would be strict. I would let them shoot only 1 arrow, because then you get all your focus in this 1 arrow.
Yes.
And then you shoot it, because then you need to go and get it back.
Yes, it's like with hunting. You have no second option.
Exactly.
You have one chance.
Exactly.
And if you have a quiver full of arrows, I have plenty of arrows, doesn't help. No problem. That's a big problem, yes.
That's why 1 arrow, but of course you need to keep or find the balance between that they still have fun and learn something. That's why 3 arrows, but never more than 3 arrows.
Yes. And I would like to say one thing more. You need an instructor, because I don't know how you tell your folks to aim. I try to teach them what we call, really instinctive or intuitive without aiming. So without
aiming, exactly.
Yes, without aiming over the arrow, without aiming with the arrow point or with the knuckles or with nothing. Just focus dead center of the plate, and shoot the arrows.
Exactly.
And
we do the same.
Okay, and if you good enough to hit from 10 meters this plate every time, then you replace the plate with how are they called, this beer deckles?
Beer filter coasters.
Yes,
in English.
Yes, and put 3 on the backstop, and then you start shooting always 1 arrow in one spot. Same here, 3 meters, 7 meters, up to 10 meters. Okay, and if you are able to do this, then you start again with making these all shots while you are on your knees or something like that.
Okay.
So you get you get secure, self-confident.
Yeah.
That's why I do some trick shooting elements in my seminars, in my schools, because the people get more confident.
Yeah.
Or as we talked about, let them try shooting with the left.
Yeah.
With the left side, left hand bow, and so they see, it's not a miracle, it's easy.
Exactly.
So that's I would say that's the best advice I could give.
What for me important is that they at least how we do it here, that they should come at least once a week back to the instructor, that we can check the form, because when they shoot at home, it happened. I had one, he came for an hour and then he disappeared for weeks, and after weeks he came back and then he was standing like this. He was hitting everything, but his posture, everything was completely wrong. But of course, even with the wrong posture, you can get used to it with a bad style and hit the target all the time. But he was ruining, and then he got problems. So then we need to fix this. And when you fix it after 2 months, it's tough. When they come every week or regularly, let's say, that you check at least, okay, is the shoulder down, back tension, the release, is the release proper, or does he release like this? Then okay, he's using arm muscles instead of back muscles. I think this is important, that you get them to a good goal on the long run. Of course, short run, you show them quickly and then they can go home and do whatever, and they will be able to hit something. But I think it should be always that you have an eye on their posture.
I want to tell you one trick I found out, because some people can't let to look around, can't focus on the center. So if I detect this problem, I take a ring
Mm-hmm.
a cardboard ring or something, and I stick it on an end of an arrow, and
Mm-hmm.
I present in half distance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they shoot about 6 meters,
Mm-hmm.
and at 3 meters, I put that
Mm-hmm.
ring between the
Yeah.
shooter and the
Okay.
target.
Yeah.
And I say, you have to look through that ring, imagine a gun sight,
Yeah.
and if you don't see from the very first
Mm-hmm.
beginning of your draw
Mm-hmm.
through this ring, your target, you can't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then sometimes they realize how
A
it
nice
works.
idea. Yeah, that's a good trick. Yeah, very well. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, you have
And
to come up with tricks, you know.
you yes, you can, and you can lower it. If some person, one of the most common mistakes is, they draw and
Yes,
go
and
back,
lean backwards. Shoulder comes
of
up and then
course.
they shoot too high.
And
Yeah.
if you put the ring in front of them and they have
Mm-hmm.
to look through the ring, they can't, because they
Exactly.
will lose sight onto the target.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I always try to tell them, listen, with your bow arm shoulder, try or imagine you slightly punch to the target, that the shoulder points a little more to the
Yeah,
target,
yeah.
that they stop
Like
leaning
a
away from
fighter,
the
you have
target.
to be to the target.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
face your enemy, you don't run away from your enemy. So, well,
And I used to say, the bow is your friend, so
yeah.
lean to the bow and not
Okay.
push
Not
the
away.
bow away.
Yeah,
You know.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Yeah, that's interesting. And when you the excuses you hear, then this is no, I didn't do that. And
Yes, 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 yes.
or raising the shoulder, and then I had once two
Then
guys.
then I film them
Yeah, yeah.
with the phone and say, see, you do it.
Hmm. I had once two guys. They always raised their shoulder, but they really wanted to learn it. And then I put my finger slightly above, and then they were still
Yeah.
raising the shoulder. I said, "Listen." And when you now don't listen, I put out my folding knife and held the blade above it. Said, "Now raise the shoulder again." And then all of a sudden, he kept the shoulder down, and then he got the point.
Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, as I said, sometimes a kind of video analysis is a
Yeah,
good tool
makes totally sense. Yeah, yeah. When you
because
see
they
it's
see
not
the
getting anywhere.
mistakes. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I do
yeah.
this right now with my Patreon project, that I do online lessons. So people simply film themselves from the side, from the back, and if possible from the front when they have a tripod. So don't let the cameraman stand in front of your arrows, of course. And
On,
then they send
only
it.
girls, I guess. Only girls are your clients, I guess.
No, 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 no. More the
Also
funny
women.
thing. The funny thing was, when I started in 8 years ago here in Malta, in Pembroke, my first range, I had 80% girls. And all the
What?
80% girls and 20%
Yes,
guys,
yes, yes,
and all
yes,
from
yes.
university and stuff like this. It was really nice. And then things changed, so I was not there all the time anymore. I had instructors, and the whatever
They,
the energy of the instructors was different, and then all of a sudden the clients changed, and I had older guys and stuff like this. Hey, what happened? Yeah, it can happen. Yeah.
but it's very natural what you tell me because after quite a time they know you. So
And now I have still a few that still come, but then of course I got an instructor, and he's more like, yeah, he's a stuntman, and he's more like a military drill, and I don't know, I don't know. I think his vibe simply was different. He was attracting a different kind of customers then. So my girlies all went away, but we still have a few. It's not
he was the bigger bull.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I sold my archery schools on a platform in Vienna, and
Hmm.
so I had a good analysis,
Hmm.
about the clients, and
Okay.
it's true there were more women than
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
and I had the theory, maybe also because it's so modern to make some guy stuff for women, and so they do it without their husband or without
Mhm.
their
Yeah. Yeah.
boyfriend. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try archery,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, I had this when I was working at this marketing company close to Regensburg, and we had at the golf, where the golf course is, we had our office, and behind the office we had a small green field, and I put targets and I did my archery. And often I had then the woman come, oh, what are you doing here? You know, I don't see my husband all week long, and on the weekend he runs to the golf course. So now I need to start playing golf, but I don't like it. But if I could come and he plays golf and I do a bit archery, and then we meet and eat, and they found this idea really nice. So I had a few of these. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, but they have different reasons. I said the main reason was once with Hunger Games, and then what was it? What Brave? This anime movie, this cartoon movie, Brave,
Yes,
Merida.
yes.
They
Yes.
were like all the small girls wanted to learn archery then.
I even had teenage girls who wanted to learn knife throwing. I tell you, because I know you're a big knife thrower.
Yeah.
Yes, can you teach me that? And so, okay, it's the same thing.
Pure instinct.
It's the same thing, hand-eye coordination.
Exactly, it's always the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only need to repeat always the same, and once you repeat properly, repetition is the key to success in every martial art, they say. Once you repeat properly, you have success.
Yes. And maybe, I don't know if you like to talk about today, then we get to the point of instinctive and intuitive, because you say you train this, and so.
If you want, it's no problem.
I'm very unhappy with both of these terms, because I know this instinctive came over from the USA, and in Germany they were much more sophisticated, intuitive, which is it's the same shit in my opinion. Why, if we think about what an instinctive is, an instinct you're getting from the birth on. You're born with this, an instinct is not something you learn, you make it instinctively. So archery, you're not born with archery. That's of course true. So instinctive is not the right term. Intuitive is even worse, because most times people, especially spiritual people, think about intuitive as a positive thing. But that's not true, of course, because we all knew when we are in the casinos and we are on the roulette table, and our intuition says, oh, red is next to come, there comes black. So it's a very luck game if you think about intuition.
Always depends on the interpretation, I think. I mean,
no.
Yes, when you ask a Chinese, as example, when you ask a Chinese guy, they don't have two words for instinct and intuition. They have only one word, first of all. So for them, it's the same. It's simply something coming from inside or something.
No. If we use these terms in the real definition, if you look in Wikipedia and say what is an instinct and what is an intuition, so I only talk about this, and so my explanation is what you said. It's repetition, training, and so your brain makes up a program. A program, if you see a target on 40 meters and you have never done it before, you can't do it because you have never seen this picture, and you can't do it. You can do it maybe because you're an experienced archer, and even if you have good chances maybe to hit it. But in fact, if you exercise and exercise and exercise, your brain writes a program you can use in any situation. That's my explanation for this instinctive, intuitive.
Yeah, I think you need all three. You need your instincts, your intuition, and your mind. So to say, you need the whole package that you get some, you can't separate, okay, I only shoot now instinctive because this is not going to work. I only shoot intuitive. I mean, intuition is like the teacher in you. So you teach yourself something or you learn something, and this is where you can use your intuition. But of course, on the roulette table, you have ego minds. They think they are intuition.
Okay. Byron Ferguson had a nice explanation. If you're giving this explanation you're giving, you have to think about this. The only instinctive or intuitive arrow in your life you ever can shoot is the first one.
Yeah,
so every next arrow is part of a program.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's programmed archery. How do we call it then? You say classic archery. What?
Exactly, right. I say it's classic archery.
I think what they mean with instinctive or intuitive is the way how to aim, that you simply look at the target and you don't aim. I think this is what they try to differentiate and found the term whatever instinctive, that you don't have something where you really with your mind aim over, that you simply point there. And this is what I say, it's like you throw a stone, you look where you want to throw a stone, and you throw it, and you hit it or not, and then you need to repeat, and you will hit it more often. And I think that this way of aiming, not the whole shooting process. I think that they were thinking about this, that you aim or not aim, you're not the point. I think that was
they created the term to separate shooting with a sight and shooting without a sight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's only in archery a problem, because you also don't say intuitive shotgun shooting. It's shotgun shooting.
Yeah.
Or intuitive stone throwing or instinctive stone throwing. No. Or of knife throwing.
In knife throwing, it exists as an instinctive knife throwing group, because this is different from this, where you have this half spin or full spin where you need a certain distance, and instinctive knife throwers can throw on every distance because they adjust themselves. So that's why it exists. So don't worry.
I don't believe them.
There are different styles. So when you see there are these, I always call them the circus style. You hold your blade, you do a half spin, then you need to know the distance to the target, and then you will always hit them with be very precise. So if you want to do one spin, then you need to know the distance which you step back. And then there are the instinctive throwers. I can throw from every distance because I know how to change things in my hand, or throw no spin, and then it doesn't matter, or that or feeding style, then it doesn't matter. And this is for me, then it's not instinctive, it's more combat for me, because it's more applicable in a combat situation, because when I only can throw a knife when the guy is exactly 750 away, but he comes running to me, what chance to have that I hit him? Instinctive still not the right term, obviously. But it's simply
knife throwing.
But they wanted to differentiate themselves from this circus
like to be
throwing.
More spiritual. Yes, of course.
No, it's simply more combat oriented. For me, it's more combat because I don't need a fixed distance to throw. And that's why it's for me way more combat style.
The other is more circus style, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody can learn it very quickly. You need to find the distance, you give him the blade, always hold it the same, throw it, ping, ping, and then make stick after stick after stick. Not a big deal.
But on the other hand, I don't know how many knives were thrown in combat.
Not many.
No, I'm sure.
I think so, yeah. I mean, the ninjas, they had their bow shuriken, but it was not to kill one. They simply threw it to distract the enemy and attack him then with the sword or something.
Right.
For this, even in China, they had these small daggers where they throw and then they attack with the sword.
Kunais, yes.
Exactly.
There's this kind of like fog grenades or so, something like that.
But it's awesome, you know. It looks cool when you stand there and throw knives in a target and they stick there.
I like it. And as we said, it's the same training like shooting the bow and arrow, because you have to focus on your point, you have to concentrate. It's the same thing. Sometimes when I don't like to shoot the bow and arrow, I have an air pistol. And I shoot it combat side. I look at the target, I raise the pistol and shoot. So it's the same training.
You have to fix point. You aim small, miss small. You look at a very small spot, point there. The rest is muscle memory, repetition, and eye-hand coordination. Done.
At my archery seminars, I have a toy Glock pistol,
Mm-hmm.
and to explain the clients what I mean with looking at the target and then line your right hand, your draw hand with your face.
Mm-hmm.
I give them this Glock pistol and say, look at this point and raise your pistol, and you will see your sights are aligned without looking at the sights. If you make it right, the sights are aligned perfectly. And that's like archery works.
Yeah, exactly. Now, always we explain it like this when I have a girl coming and she still aims, because many like to have control and they need a control and the aiming point on the tip of the arrow or something.
Yeah.
Now, listen, it's the same like you go in a shoe shop and you see, oh my God, this pair of shoes. Do you do this pair of shoes, or you simply point there? No, simply point there. See, now simply point there. Imagine this is your pair of shoes. Point there.
That's one of the worst mistakes. They make it right, and in the last half second, they check the gap. They check.
Yeah, exactly.
They look at the arrow point and then again on the target, and then they miss, of course.
And
because they want to control. They want to control this. And I say, trust your body, trust the arrow, trust your alignment, and you will hit the target.
That's true.
Great.
But it's fun to see, and you once you teach a few, then you see directly what's going on, and you can tell what kind of person they are. Like Confucius said, Confucius, he was an archery instructor. He said
Confucius.
Confucius. I don't know how you pronounce it in English. Confucius.
Confucius.
Confused. I'm confused.
I get confused.
And he said that in no discipline and in archery, you see directly a human's character. So when you really see what's going on in a person, when you see him standing shooting some arrows, is it like to have control or whatever? You see a lot.
Yeah. But yes, you maybe can also say this in boxing.
Most probably, yeah. Maybe many arts, or martial arts, maybe. Yeah.
Confucianist.
Confucianist. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So then you said a favorable bow with a low poundage. What I always suggest, mostly the snake bows we use, they have 22 pounds. Everybody can throw it. Some people stand there and they start shaking. That's simply because they tense up. They are not relaxed. When you're relaxed, everybody can throw a 22-pound bow. It's not a big deal.
And they can't damage this bow. Exactly. You don't need to unstring it. You can do what you want with it. You
have an arrow rest. You can make a knocking point on it, and it's so easy, and they are so forgiving.
Even if you detect you are left-handed, you can change because they are two.
Yeah, exactly. I had this in the beginning when I wanted for multi-archery. I saw then that these snake bows. I saw an American, he's a sword fighter and archery instructor. I saw that he's using snake bows. And then I was looking for them, and I wrote to a big bow shop in Germany or in Austria, I forgot now. I said, listen, I would like to have these snake bows. The reply was, we don't sell this crap. If you want, you can have our nice takedown Samick Polaris. And said, look, thank you. Leave it. You don't get the point. So,
No. And this is a wonderful product. And the price is wonderful. I love them. Yes. Because we talked about right and left hand shooters, what's your opinion? When I know you mentioned it, if you go to an archery shop, the very clever Olympic and so on shops, and they detect that you're left eye dominant, they recommend you to shoot left-handed. And in my opinion, it's wrong.
Yes, it is. You can train with, I'm right eye dominated. I can shoot right hand, but in the same way I can shoot left hand because we have both eyes open. So because we don't aim when you shoot.
Yes.
Let's call it now instinctive again, because we lack another word, or classic or traditional.
Yes.
So then you
Yes.
can train both. It's
Yeah.
not a problem.
You only have another view
Exactly.
if you shoot right or left-handed, and your brain fills the gap. Or
Exactly.
yes, and if you're a right-handed person and you can do anything well right-handed,
Yeah.
so it's really stupid to change the sides just because of your eyes.
Of course. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
left eye dominant.
I mean, then you see
And
as
even
example.
I heard the dominance can change also.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I don't know.
change from right to left, and then
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
when
know.
you see in Japan, in Kyoto, they only have they only shoot right-handed. There is no left-hand
Yeah.
archer. So if you want to do Kyoto, you need to learn it. Even if you're lefty, you need to learn to shoot right-handed.
But they are racist, you see.
So, and in
Racist.
ancient India, they started, when you learned archery, you started first with your wrong hand, so to say. So when you're right-handed, you start first left hand until you really perfect it, and then you switch to the right hand, and instantly you can do it. So it's not a learning curve anymore.
Okay.
And then you are capable shooting with both
Good
hands
idea.
at the same level directly. So not too bad.
So these shop guys aren't that dumb as I thought,
Yeah.
because they recommend the wrong side.
Yeah, because they don't know it better.
I know.
And for system shooting, when you aim over the arrow or with your sight or whatever you're doing, then I think, yes, you need to, even then when you left eye is dominant, you might need to have a left hand Olympic bow system, FITA, whatever you call it, I think. But traditionally, no problem.
Yes, I agree.
I
agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, we agree on a lot of things.
Thank you. I feel so good now.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, you pay. Yeah, at the end, it's always, I mean, when you do archery or traditional or classic archery, it's always, I mean, everybody experiences them the same. So of course, that's why our opinions are not so far apart. Maybe terminology like instinctive, intuitive, you can discuss this until the end of the days, but the principles are always the same. And you experience the same stuff like with shoulder and leaning away from the target like we, because it's in human nature. What I only figured out is what I saw when I was working in Sylt at Yuksaka. When you give a small kid a bow and an arrow and you don't explain anything, they always put the arrow on the right side and do pinch draw. So they are not, they don't have three-finger hooking or the arrow on the left. When a kid has no idea, or even adults sometimes, they put the arrow on the right side and they start pinch drawing. This is, I think, in our genes, in our history. I don't know how and why.
I'm quite sure why it is, because if you're holding here the bow, so in this hand you have the arrow, you like to put it on this side.
Makes sense. You don't have to fiddle
have
through.
The idea to put it over the bow also. My explanation.
Okay.
What I also found out is with boys and girls, if young boys and young girls, depending on their upbringing, in most cases, the girls hit faster, earlier than the boys, because the girls, they know, oh, I can't do this. I listen to the teacher and I do what he says. And the boys are, oh, I can do it. Don't tell me anything. I can shoot. And they do it with power. And
always,
so on.
even adults, the guys always think to know how it works. I tell them, listen, I explain you. No, I know how to shoot bow and arrow. And then they come and they stand like this or whatever. But they know how to shoot, and then they don't listen because they were whatever, they built a bow at home out of hazelnut stick or whatever, and then they shot like this and they think they know how to. And girls, as you said, they have no idea. They think they can do it anyway. I'm too bad for this. Said, did you ever shoot an arrow? No. So how can you know that you're bad?
The opposite. They're
and then
they
they're
have
open.
No confidence.
They take information and then they shoot and then they hit because they listen. And the guy is still missing. I had so many couples. They came and he was like, yeah, I know how to shoot. He shot his three finger under. He was missing all the time. And she was a little amused, and she was listening to me, bam, 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 and she hit everything. And after 1 hour, he was still missing because he didn't want to listen. And she was hitting the target all the time. This freaked him out. Then,
right. At the same experience,
always.
And then the lady say, "What's the matter with you? I can hit the target and you can't."
Look,
and the guys,
you said you can shoot. Look at you. I shoot better than you.
At the military, I could. At the military, I could. I was good in shooting, but not today.
Doesn't help. But it's always the same. But I think it's really in archery, every guy thinks he knows how to shoot. I had not many. They said I have no idea. Most of them, I shot already when I was young or whatever, or they watch movies and they see Legolas shooting and think they know how to.
These are only so-called beta males who, I don't know how to do it. These are kind of, these soy eating beta males.
I eat soy too sometimes, But I know what you mean.
I always get not visible, but inside angry if one person says, "Oh no, I have to feel it how it works." You don't have to feel it. You have to do it like I tell you.
Exactly.
Don't feel something.
You see, first
let me. I have to feel it.
Yeah. You had them too. Yeah. I need to feel. I know. I see. I had them too. Yeah. Tough. But we choose to teach. So.
And as you said, you instantly detect kind of alternative people, and they think I have to feel it and so on. You instantly know. Okay. It's a self-finding trip. They want to do an egocentric trip.
Yeah, I heard once a guy came to me to a course and said, finally, after safety instructions and short introduction, we started shooting direct, and said, what, we are already shooting? Oh, we shoot so many arrows. Said, that's why you are here, to learn to shoot arrows. I was at another seminar, and then this guy was first talking for half an hour, and then we shot one arrow, and then we had to talk about this one shot, how it was, and blah, blah, blah. And they shot,
experience. Oh, yes, the experience of the first arrow.
They shot in 1 day 3 arrows and said, how much did you pay for it? Holy
clever guy.
Yeah.
A clever teacher.
Yeah.
I'm sure this was the guy who put the girls from your school, who take the girls from your school.
It was not in Malta, it was in Germany.
Okay.
No. I have no. I can, if I want, I can always, give them the inner explanation of everything what's happening on the outside. It's no problem, of course. No, don't you worry.
Yes, you need some kind of encyclopedia of wise sayers.
And it always works when I said, look, I stand now beside you and look at you. Now you will hit the target, and they hit the target. And then the girl said, can you please stay with me? Because when you stay here, I always hit the target. I said, no, now you need to do it by yourself. It works. You can always jinx them.
When I detect some woman or man squeezing the bow handle, they squeeze the bow handle, and so then I say, okay, Confucius would say, imagine you have a living little bird in your hand, and the bird should stay alive also after you finish it. Oh, that sounds very romantic. That's very Zen Buddhist. Yes, you need some tricks like that.
Yeah, of course. Some understand it this way, others understand it the other way. So you always need to find. That's why I don't like these locked courses. That's why I have this more like ongoing here in Malta, because I teach everyone individually. At the beginning, you give them a quick guideline in the first basic course that everybody knows what's going on, but then everybody grabs it differently and has a different speed. And then simply he comes regularly, and then we simply check again, okay, he needs to work on the shoulder, he needs to work on his release. So it's so different. You can't treat everyone the same. They're all so different in shooting.
I have a big quiver with different arrows for my archery schools because when I start, I make a kind of history
Mm-hmm.
review and
Yeah.
the arrow and this arrow and this and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very short, a riding whip. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What riders,
Mm-hmm.
the whips for usually are longer, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a very short one.
Short.
It's long as an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I have it in that quiver, and I explain everything and then I say, and for the people who need more time to learn it, I have this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a joke. I said,
Yeah,
you always need some jokes in your quiver.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
of course.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what my you know if you're a kind of entertainer or a showman, you have to grab your auditory,
Mm-hmm.
your viewers.
Yep.
And I explained the arrows, and this is a hunting arrow, and this is that and that.
Mm-hmm.
And the last arrow I put out is this one. You see,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's my boxing glove arrow. And then you get you get them
Of
because
course.
they laugh about it. Oh, that's funny, and
Mm-hmm.
you won.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always when you have an archery school like we have here, you always need to find the balance between teaching and entertaining. Because if
Yeah.
it's only about shooting, everybody can buy a bow and arrow, go home on his green field, put a target there and start shooting. So, but we have so
Yeah.
many, they come regularly because they simply like it here. They are entertained. You talk to them, they get always something. They take more with them. That's then for this, they are willing to come regularly and pay.
And I also found out they like if you make fun of them.
Yeah, of
If you
course.
say, "Oh, what's this?" If they
Mm.
do something, they laugh about. They laugh it if you criticize them. If you say, "Oh, that looks like a ballerina" or something like that,
Yeah,
they
of
say, "What?
course.
What?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
Yes,
like it.
sometimes do it. This is not a ballet session here. We do archery here, okay?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
do you mean? Look at your butt. Points out, tuck your butt in. Yeah, of
And
course.
you know what I also detected? It There comes this instinctive and intuitive again.
Hmm.
Every person has some picture in his in its brain how archery looks.
Yes.
They've seen Lord of Rings, or they've seen
Hmm.
Rambo, or they have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
seen, you name it.
Hmm.
And even if they never tried it, or they have seen
Hmm.
pictures of archers like they are,
Hmm.
and so instinctively or intuitively they like to reproduce this, and
Yes.
this in most cases is wrong, of course.
Yes, of course.
And so even if you never shot an arrow, you have a kind of picture how you
Hmm. Yeah.
should do it, or how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
should look. And then I
Hmm.
say, you don't have to look good, you have to be
You
on
need to
target.
you need to hit the target. Yeah, yeah. This is
Yeah.
looking good comes
Yeah.
later when you're capable of hitting the target. Then yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
interesting. I mean, I love always when you always have new challenges. You think about, I don't know how many people we had now, 60, 70,000 people here at the range, and you think it gets boring, but you always find new challenges with your students. It's totally interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's not never boring
No,
because you always detect.
yeah,
I'm happy if I detect a mistake I have never seen before.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a great
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, it's just interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the great things archery can do to, we had once a group of kids, and there was a small guy with curly hair, and he had a little problem to follow instructions. So I simply guided him with the left and with the right and said, this is how it works. And then he started shooting. Then he was jumping around and laughing. And then this guy, this
Yeah.
lady came to me and said, this boy is autistic, and I know him since 3 years, and he never even smiled in these 3 years. And this boy was running around, yay! So,
I had the same experience.
yeah.
And because I did archery in schools,
Mhm.
and there are some in the classes who same autistic or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of handicapped or so.
Mhm.
And if I find this out and I see this, I
Mm.
help this child, this kid, and in some cases they shoot better than the normal
Yeah.
kids. because they have more fun. They are not bored about it, you know. And
Mm.
especially in archery, fat children or not
Super sporty
who
ones can
can,
do it.
yes,
Yeah.
can have nice experiences and
Yes,
success. So
exactly.
in football, they are always the last one. In jumping, they're
Mhm.
the last one. But in archery,
They can be
the
good.
weak ones and the handicapped ones can have their great experience, and that's
Exactly.
a big power of archery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Mm. Once I had a mother, she always brought her son. She was blind, and she always brought her son to shoot. And then once I sat with her on the bench, said, "Why don't you shoot?" "Oh, I'm blind." And she freaked out, said, "Yes, and?" "What do you mean?" Said, "Come with me." Then I stood her in front, 2 meters in front of a target. Then I simply explained to her what she has to do. First, I guided her a little. And I said, "Oh, now you point down there, like you imagine you want to show me a dog or something, which is 5 meters away from you. And then you draw back, bring the middle finger to your mouth and shoot." And then she shot, and she hit the target, and she started, like, it was life-changing for her. And she was even capable of then putting the bow down, and she knew exactly, okay, this is 8 steps forward. And she found her
Yeah.
arrows, 8 steps back, and she found the bow again, then she started shooting on her own. And then she
Yeah.
was in our beginners field. And sometimes people said, "What is she doing?" I said, "She's blind and she's doing archery." Oh, so, I said, "Why not?"
I
It's
had I had I don't know how it's called, a club. You know, in German it's a Blindenverein, a
yeah, yeah.
blind
Hmm.
club, a
Yeah,
blind handicapped
hmm.
club, and they called me if I can do archery with them,
Hmm.
and I thought, oh yes, I can do it, and it was really funny. I had you know an arrow
Hmm.
netting,
Yeah.
and I put a big that size balloon in
Hmm.
the center of the net, and
Hmm.
I put this kind of watch behind, who who peeps, beep
Hmm.
beep
Okay.
beep. So they had the tune. It
Hmm.
was slightly behind the balloon,
Hmm.
and I helped them. I
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
adjusted them,
Yeah.
and at the end of the lesson, every blind woman and man was able to hit the
Shot
balloon.
the
They had
balloon.
fun. You
Was an
can't
experience. Yeah, what an
imagine. Yes.
experience. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah,
Can be
yeah.
life changing. So I that's why I love archery, because it's you can easily learn it, or easy at least start with it, so that you at least hit the target, have your instant
Yeah.
success. And it has so many positive aspects, and you get directly reward. They always say you learn something when you get your instant reward. And how better can
Yeah,
it be than in
yeah,
archery?
yeah.
You shoot, you hit, and you
And
directly, whoa, you get your reward
and
directly.
it is even how cool it is for me, for as
Mm.
an instructor. I can do archery with blind people,
Yeah,
so that's great.
perfect. Yeah.
I really thought it's like in an old legend
Hmm.
when Bowman taught archery to the blinds.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yes, it's fun.
That
It's
there
fun.
are almost no limits.
No, no,
Mm.
no, no,
I
no.
had sometimes half side paralyzed guys coming. They couldn't move the left arm, but the right hand was working. Said, "You know what? We shoot together. I hold the bow, you draw,
Yeah,
and you shoot." And
yeah.
they were like, "Oh my God, I never thought I can do archery." Yeah, yes. You make them so happy.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Mm.
So
Yeah. So where did we end now? Where are we? Hey,
I
it's
don't know. I
instruction.
don't know.
Uh,
How long are we talking?
Good question. An hour almost? Huh? It's 8?
Really?
Oh, I think so.
So I would have a big other theme, but so we do it next time.
Which one?
I'd like to ask you the real advantage of thumb ring shooting or thumb
What's the
release
next five
shooting.
sessions then?
This
No.
5 hours. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So guys, get your popcorn ready and your beer. You might have the next time.
That will be a
So
fight.
then we do this next time, I guess, because this
Yeah.
is might lead to back and forth and benefits and downsides and whatever. Takes a little longer, and we
Yeah.
are already now. I think
Yeah.
then we simply leave it for today in this giveaway. And next session, we talk about thumb release versus three finger or different draw
Yes.
techniques or benefits.
Yes. Yes,
Sounds
and
good.
maybe we detect some subjects in the commentaries.
Exactly.
Our viewers like to like us to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And we do
yeah.
that. Great. It was fun. See,
So,
1 hour is like nothing with you, huh?
pardon?
1 hour is
What?
like nothing with you. Flies
Yes,
like.
same, same here, same
Yeah,
here.
this is
It's fun to talk
what
to you.
happens always, that you lose the sense of time when you are into archery topics. And I think we always can
Yes,
talk about and talk and talk and talk about archery with no end.
and it's really interesting because I had a different view, a different imagination of how you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know you from your videos and so on,
Mm-hmm.
but I always, I wouldn't have thought that we agree on so many points,
Mm-hmm.
on so many subjects in archery instructions, and so that's interesting.
Okay. Thank you. What shall I say now? No, I think when you teach traditional archery,
Say
so
it,
not
say it.
not aiming, I think you always run in the same issues, the same problems, the same things, because people are always the same, and no matter where you teach. And I mean, I was teaching in Germany, in
Yeah,
Spain, in here, whatever, everywhere. So it's everywhere you face the same problems. When you try to teach them, you only point at your target, you don't aim with your arrow. This is the big difference. And once you see it, it makes snap in their brain, and then they get it. And sometimes the ego comes back and tells them, no, wait a second. It's not possible like this. So you need, and then they shoot too high again. Then you say, listen, don't listen to your ego. Simply follow. And that's fine. And that's why I mean, as said, with this terminology, instinctive, intuitive, whatever, there we
yeah.
can discuss, because there are different opinions out and different whatever, but the basics are the same.
It's the opposite. What we are doing is just archery,
Yeah,
and the other thing is archery with sights,
exactly. Technical archery,
or how you may
something.
call it. No problem.
For me, it's always when they ask me what's the difference set for Olympic or system or whatever, when you shoot with a sight, you need to become part of the bow. And it's easy to shoot good in no time because you have your sight, because you have whatever, or even a release. You don't even pull the string with 3 fingers. You have your release and you look through your peep sight and then it's easy.
Yeah.
So, but you need to become part of the bow. And in traditional archery, the bow becomes part of
Become the
you.
arrow. No,
I don't like this one. No.
you have to become the arrow.
Yeah, this is what Byron Ferguson says. Yeah, become the arrow.
The bow is only the shooting device. The arrow is the thing that
The arrow is
hits
the
the
one who
target.
hits. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that's Byron's idea. He becomes the arrow and flies to the target.
Yeah, I don't like this idea of separation. You need everything. You need the bow, you need yourself, you need the arrow, and you need the target. Otherwise, nothing of it will work. I mean, when you hang an arrow on the wall,
But,
the arrow on its own
but
doesn't.
the arrow is still a weapon.
Yeah, of
The
course.
bow is just a device, you know. Okay, you can stab one with the bow.
I can slap you with my bow. You will see.
Yes, but the arrow itself is the weapon.
Is the weapon, of course. Yeah, the bow is only the device to launch it, of course.
Yeah,
agree. Yeah. Okay, fine, good.
Okay, so what is the procedure we have to say? Please subscribe to our channels.
Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell and whatever. I mean, I think they know it better than I'm not the best in these things, but simply subscribe and comment and whatever. If you liked it, and if you didn't like it, give thumbs up or thumbs down and tell us what you like, what you don't like. So simply interact, and we do the best to follow up. Right?
Okay, and we look forward to the next week's session.
Exactly. It was nice to see you again. It was nice to talk with you again.
Nice to talk to you, Armin.
See you next week.
Have a nice day.
Have a good one. See you. Ciao, ciao.